Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, last week we had a special guest. We had Brendan Flaherty. I kept calling him Brendan Marshall. Brendan Flaherty's the head hockey coach at Duluth Marshall. And this week we were scheduled to have Kevin Smalley. He's still busy because of the mild temperatures and the work he does, but he's scheduled to be here next week.
Right. And the first day of practice for high school hockey for the boys
Starts
today.
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 Well, today it gets started. Duluth East, Duluth Denfeld, Duluth Marshall, locally Hermantown, Proctor. Yeah.
Right. So that's great. That's my favorite time of the year, and we'll find out. There's a lot of kids that went to juniors. There might be an extra one that comes back. We'll see, and hopefully no one else leaves. So we'll find out at practice today. I mean, after practice today, who shows up, and so.
So East practice is at Heritage,
Right.
as does Denfeld.
Right.
Okay.
They got both rinks up out there, so that's great. And one thing is that I was looking at all these high school kids, and I was looking at my top 10 for Mr. Hockey, and there's 3 UMD recruits in that group. And then I was looking at kids that left early that would have been seniors. There's 3 more kids of that are UMD recruits. So there's six good recruits that would have been seniors this year in high school that UMD got. They would have been in my top 15.
Jeez.
So they did. That's a heck of a recruiting job they're doing.
It is. It is. High school hockey jamboree gets started. It starts next Tuesday, the 22nd of November. That's a 5:15 start. That's out at the Heritage Sports Center, where the local schools that are invited, of course, the Duluth schools, and then they'll just kind of put together.
It's a Lake Superior conference without Duluth East.
Without
is not
Duluth
there.
East, right. And what do they play? 2 periods of running time?
I think they play one period like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And then but they play they play about 4 games.
Boys varsity for Duluth Denfeld starts, 2 o'clock against Red Wing on Friday the 25th at Red Wing.
10 days away, 11 days
My
away.
goodness. They're not messing around.
Right after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Duluth East will start their season Friday, December 2nd with a game at Heritage against White Bear Lake.
And then they run right down to the cities, to the last year's state champion team, Wazetta.
The following day, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the night before, Hermantown's down there playing Wazetta. So...
The girls, the Northern Stars team, they have their first game. Oh, they already did. No, they start Tuesday. They did Tuesday, November 15th. So they get started tomorrow.
Right.
Girls start tomorrow. The Duluth Northern Stars will play Cambridge Isanti at Isanti Ice Arena. So here it is. High school hockey's among us.
Right.
And again, next week we'll have Kevin Smalley.
And most likely the week after, Coach Mike Randolph. And I'm going to be checking with Hermantown's coach, Bruce Plant, and see if he's not subbing as a teacher. We might be able to get him in too.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice to see what he thinks of his team. I know he'll say that, well, it's an all right team.
Well, let's talk about that all right team. You posted to our website. You go to MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com, and you've got the start of the season, if you will.
Right.
High school rankings. And Hermantown, of course, in Class A, you have it number 1, and rightfully so, defending champs.
Right. And they deserve it, and I think it's theirs to lose. I mean, something has to go drastically wrong for them to lose the title again.
Now, who's the senior goalie that they had last year?
Was it Olson?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah, goaltending is...
They got this new kid that played in the elite, and he's small, but he's good.
Yeah.
Cade McEvan.
Okay.
Ewan. I can't pronounce it right. But teams that might be able to, if there's going to be an upset, I don't see any upset getting to the state. Greenway will be the best chance, but even with their Greenway has another good team, but I think it's still basically a running time game, 5-6 goals.
Well, again, you put together the start of the season high school rankings. Delano second.
Right. They got a lot of players back, and they got this one kid that's out in juniors, and Ben Meyer, and he'll be a Mr. Hockey candidate. He'll be on the team. They had a kid that's close to the top of scoring in the Elite League. They got a good D. They got a decent goalie, but they got other players, so they're a lot deeper than normal. But their problem is they got to go through Breck, which is number 3, and they're in the same section. So that always messes that up. And Delano, I don't think they've ever been to the state tournament.
Interesting. I see also in your top 10, you have them 8th. And again, these are preliminary rankings for Class A. Alexandria at number 8.
Yeah, they're going to have a pretty good team out there. They've had a pretty good hockey program for an A, Class A out there. And this year, I think they're going to be a little better.
Looking up the chart here at Class AA, Eden Prairie number 1.
Right, they got the best player in the state, Casey Middlestad. And they got one of the best defensemen, Nicky Lieberman. And I think Lieberman's has a commitment to Notre Dame, and I know Middlestad's going to the Gophers, Minnesota Gophers. But Middlestad will be coming back, probably came back from juniors after Saturday's game, and he was the leading scorer in the USHL when he left.
Really?
Yeah. So
he's leaving the USHL as the top goal scorer going back to high school.
Right.
Playing for Eden Prairie. Wow.
Right.
Well, look out for the Eagles.
And I think, like I say, it's Mr. Hockey all the way unless he gets injured.
And Stillwater number 2. Stillwater, by the way, host of this season's
Hockey Day Minnesota.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we got one of their top kids as a recruit for UMD, Noah Cates.
Okay.
Yeah, he's coming up here. And they got a good goalie. They got a good team. Their problem being number 2, and it's well-deserved, is that their schedule is very weak. They're over on that east side of town where they don't have too many really good hockey teams, and that conference is not that strong anymore with White Bear, Woodbury, East Ridge, Forest Lake, Mounds View, and Roseville. So it's not as strong, and they got to play each one usually twice. So that's going to hurt them, I think. And then we got number 3, state champion last year, Wayzata. They lost a lot of key players, but this team was one of the better JV teams last year too. But they got some big kids, so I think in the second half of the season, there'll be a force to reckon with. And their section, they switched all of them around now, so their biggest foe will be Edina. And Edina lost a couple kids to the juniors, very key players. If Edina had those 2 players, I would have put them probably number 1.
Well, that's interesting. You don't even have them in the top. Oh, yeah, it's number 7.
I got them 7.
Okay.
Because they still got the numbers. They're the biggest association in the state for players, so they just throw another one out.
And they got a good coaching staff. Head coach Kirk Giles, former UMD Bulldog, NHL player.
And
how about Brian Bellows? Is he still?
Dave Lodgevin.
Oh, okay.
4-time Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah. And former Bulldog.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Lodgevin and Kurt Giles,
right?
2 former Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Now, was Brian Bellows? Was he with the team in some capacity, or was it just his son?
His son played for him.
Okay.
And then he left his senior year.
Gotcha. And where did he go?
Junior year. He went over to juniors, and he went to the national development team.
How's he doing? Do you know?
He's over in BU now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He went straight to BU.
And what is his name again?
Kiefer
Bellows, son of Brian Bellows.
Right. I got to look him up and see how he's doing out there in Boston University.
See, we talked about this player that's up at playing for the Wilderness based out of Cloquet. This Dylan Mills, who shares a name with former East Height School hockey player Dylan Mills, but 2 different people out of Hill Murray High School. He's a top-rated prospect. Well, at least a C prospect,
Right.
so a third-round prospect.
Right. So there's a possibility he can get drafted.
Right.
He'd be C would be a 5 to 7 seventh round. So yeah, I mean, keeps his head on his shoulder. I think.
And you said his brother plays there as well. I didn't
Yes.
know that.
Zach.
Okay. All right.
yeah. So it's kind of funny when you say brothers. It just came to my mind and back to high school. There, Brainerd, who Dave Oss is the coach. He used to coach Blaine Bengals down in the city. He's a big school in that, and when he had Bukestead and
Oh yeah.
so, but tough D for a while. Then he moved up to Brainerd and was coaching up there, and he just hired Tony Sarsland as an assistant coach, old Elk River coach for many years. But it's funny, they have sophomore triplets on the team and 2 other brothers from the triplets. So there's going to be 5
Really?
brothers on one team. I've never heard of that in my life.
Wow, 3 of them triplets, and then the
Yeah.
other 2 other brothers.
Right. Talking about brothers.
What is? Yeah. What is the? What's the last name? Do you recall?
It starts with P like Piper. People.
All right. Well, we'll look into that more.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an
And they'll-
ESPN story.
And they'll be playing in the Hilltopper tournament.
Oh, that's
right after
great.
Christmas.
That's
so,
great.
And plus they got Bemidji and Hermantown will be in there. Cloquet, so Marshall. You got some good teams. They're all Minnesota teams this year, though.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So that's a team to reckon with and keep an eye out. They'll probably be real good at the end of the year, Brainerd, but next year might be their year.
Well, Brainerd's coming into the
Yep.
mix.
Right.
Interesting. Well, again, high school hockey practice starts today. We're taping Monday, and high school hockey gets started for real with the you got the jamboree that takes place on Tuesday, November 22nd, and then Duluth Denfeld opens the regular season Friday the 25th, and they'll play Red Wing down in Red Wing. You can see the Denfeld Hunters here in Duluth. Their first home game won't be until Thursday, December 1st, and then Duluth East. Duluth East will play the second, Friday, December 2nd, here at Heritage.
Very well.
College hockey over the weekend. The UMD Bulldogs hosted the Western Michigan. Who are they? Are they the Western Michigan?
What are they? Spartan? No.
Anyways,
even
Western
think.
Michigan came to town.
Yeah.
And the Bulldogs lost to them on Friday night and then beat them on Saturday night. Apparently, UMD is still maintained number 1 in the coaches ranking as well.
No, they didn't.
Oh, are they dropped?
They dropped. Denver got number 1, and UMD is.
Denver. Okay.
The Bulldogs are number 2.
How do you go from having all 50 votes and then dropping down to number 2, losing to a team in the pairwise that is ranked number 4, I believe?
Right.
Western Michigan?
Right, and losing at the last 30 seconds.
So
Don't try to understand this.
All right.
I'm not.
Okay. But in the pair, let's look at the pairwise. You got them there.
Okay. Okay. We got UMD. Wait, pairwise, they're number 1.
Okay. Denver's number 2 in pairwise.
Right. Just they switch.
Okay. And then what? Penn State's 3rd?
Yeah.
Is that how we look?
And they're 10 in the coaches.
Western Michigan's 4th in pairwise, 18th in the coaches poll.
Right.
Something's got to give here, Jerry. We can't continue to go this way. This is
My head's
silly.
going to fall off shaking it.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to forego that coaches poll because again, that's subjective. I know I've said that over and
Well,
over.
it really doesn't mean much because the pairwise is the final 16 teams that get into the tournament.
That's the poll that counts.
Right. That's the only one that
Yeah,
counts.
the only one. So we're going to kind of stick with this pairwise poll, but all right. Bulldogs will play at Omaha this weekend, and what's the outlook for the weekend down in Omaha?
Well, Omaha's had a good start now. They beat Miami of Ohio twice. They're scoring a lot of goals.
How's Jake doing? Jake Randolph?
Jake's doing very well.
Yeah.
He's getting close to a point a game.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got about 7-8 points already.
Boy, Jake would have looked awfully nice in a Bulldog jersey.
Right, him and Toninato,
Oh.
his buddy that he played for many years from Pee Wee Bantams in high school with. But it is what it is. Darn.
All right.
And he always finds a way to do something against the Bulldogs. It seems like he comes up here. I remember when he had the shootout.
Yeah.
A couple times where he scores goals and that.
I was talking to local head coach. He was telling me about a conversation he had with Mike Sertich, and they were talking about the days when Dave Spehar was playing here and how he got all this heat because
he left.
He didn't recruit Spehar. Well, Sertich said, I did. I wanted him. He wanted to go to Minnesota. Was that the case with Jake? Did Jake want to get out of town?
One thing with Jake, he would stay here at UMD, but he wasn't recruited. This is the Bible truth.
All right. That's too bad.
Yeah. But now, I bet they're rethinking that now.
Well, Jerry, I mean, how can you go to East High School games back in his days playing here and not want him on your college team? But
he was just a smart player, so.
But I said a couple of weeks ago, I'll never second guess Scotty Sandlin again, so we'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Okay.
You really said that?
I did. Yeah. After they lost to the under-18 team.
Good for you.
And then the following weekend, they turn around and sweep North Dakota.
Hey, you leave Scotty alone now. He has enough problems.
UMD Bulldog women, they are the hottest ticket in town this coming weekend. They will host number 1 Wisconsin. The Badgers come to town with the best record. I think they're undefeated still, actually.
Right.
And the UMD women playing very well. Ranked, where are they ranked?
They're number 1 in the coaches poll and number 2 in the pairwise.
UMD?
No, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. UMD's ranked number
3
okay.
in the coaches poll and number 6 in the pairwise.
All right.
So.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't get the Wisconsin part, but.
Again, the UMD women playing well under Coach Mara Crowley. She's got things turned around, it looks like, hopefully. They had a good showing against Minnesota, even though they lost both those games. They had a split with North Dakota this past weekend. This is a big test. When you take on the number 1 team in the nation in your own building, they've got to this is an opportunity. They have a great opportunity here.
They're competing very well with all these good teams. Like North Dakota, they beat them and tied this past weekend. And, I mean, Bemidji State's been a very good team the last few years, and they went out there, and I think did they tie and win one game out there in Bemidji? Then Boston College came in here, and Boston College was number 3 team in the nation at the time, and they beat them and then got another win in the shootout. And who else have they played? Oh, Gophers, they competed right to the end on both games, even though they lost both games at the end. But that's beginning of the year, that's good. But the one thing I'm starting to notice is she's finally been here long enough. She's recruiting her own players now. Yeah. And she's getting some players. When she first came in, she didn't have time to really do much recruiting. Mm-hmm. Because Shannon Miller Howells had her, players set up already. And so a lot of them stepped down because of the switch of the coaches and that. A lot of players do that. Yeah. But I noticed in the paper, too, that part of the lawsuit with Shannon Miller is starting to come to the courts now. They're going to look over some paperwork on this week up here. Yeah. So that'll be an ongoing thing, I believe, and we'll see. I mean,
any idea what she's doing? Is she back?
She's out in Palm Springs, California, and someone said that she has one of those what do you call it? Where you ride the bikes and you can drink on the carts.
Oh, food bike of some sort?
Yeah.
Food cart?
They do it down in St. Paul all the time. They drive through the streets. Everyone pedals to the next bar.
That's what she's doing?
Yeah, she owns one of them.
And she works it?
I don't know if she works it, but she owns the business.
Oh.
That does it.
All right.
So.
Well, I wasn't expecting that for an answer, but that's what I got.
It's kind of strange, huh?
Again, college hockey, UMD Bulldog men at Omaha. The women host the number 1 team in the nation, Wisconsin, this weekend at Amsoil Arena. This past Tuesday, College of St. Scholastica hosted UW River Falls, I believe, and they lost that game. Over the weekend, they had Lake Forest in town, and they swept Lake Forest. The College of St. Scholastica will play at Ashland on the 18th of November, which is Friday, and then they'll be home against Northland at Mars Lakeview. So again, this Saturday, Mars Lakeview Arena.
Home and home, huh?
Yeah, Ashland, or rather Northland, based in Ashland, and College of St. Scholastica at Mars Lakeview. So, wow, lots going on. We're in the heat of things, Jared. The Minnesota Wild just came off a 4-game road swing. They lost at Colorado, won at Pittsburgh. Huge win over the defending Cup champion.
They played good that game.
They did.
That was a pretty good game to watch.
It
you just
was.
want like hockey.
It was.
It doesn't matter what team,
And we finally have a secret weapon to use against Pittsburgh, Eric Stahl, who's done well against Pittsburgh in his career.
Right.
He's been in that division with Carolina for so long and the Rangers that he's got good numbers against Pittsburgh. And yeah.
Right. Then last night they won in overtime against Ottawa.
Huge win at Ottawa.
The nice thing about it, we're getting 2 points.
Right.
And we're playing a team that, doesn't matter what they get.
Well, again, that loss in Colorado was 1-0, so that's a 1-goal loss. The win at Pittsburgh, I believe it was 4-2, and then they played in Philadelphia on Saturday night, lost 3-2, another 1-goal loss. And that win at Ottawa, to be able to bounce back like that and win in Ottawa, Ottawa was playing good on their own rink there, and the Minnesota Wild went in there. And what an odd set of circumstances. You look at the scoring. Stahl leads all scorers for the Wild. Ryan Suter is next.
Right. But he always gets a lot of assist.
Yeah.
He's out in the power play, so.
Granted, Zach Parise's had the injury bug, but the fact that 2 defensemen scored the only goals in that game, I don't know. That's pretty neat. And to win in overtime, finally to get a win in overtime. This team has struggled, the Wild, in overtime games, but they got a big win. So they're back home this week for 3 games. They play Calgary on Tuesday, Boston. The Bruins come to town on Thursday, and then Colorado's back in town in St. Paul Saturday the 19th, 7 o'clock, drop of the puck at Dallas Monday, November 21st, 7:30 drop of the puck, and then Winnipeg on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and then that Friday after Thanksgiving, they'll play Pittsburgh at XL.
Yeah. Early game, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So then I can go down there and watch that game at the XL, and then I can go over to the Turkey Trot and see some of the Edina, Wayzata, Holy Family, and Maple Grove play.
Ah, I
over
see.
in Wayzata, every year they have this Turkey Trot with these 4 teams. So
and that's at
Plymouth Ice Arena, where Wayzata plays all their home games.
All right. Will they have turkey on the menu?
No, they call it the Turkey Trot, but no turkey.
Oh, man. All right. So we've got just a little bit of time here, but the Minnesota Wild playing good hockey. They had a good week, a good road trip. They split 2-2 on that 4-game road trip. But I don't know. What's the status on Zach?
I don't know. They said he's out skating now. They just didn't want him to go on this road trip, so he might play on this. There's a possibility if he's out skating that he might be able to play a little bit on this homestand. Mm-hmm. I hope he does, because they're going to need him. All these young kids, this is a chance to pick it up, but it's hard to score in this league.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at the score. Look at what's kid that Toronto got, scored 4 goals his first game, Austin
Matthews.
Yeah, he scores 4 goals. Now he only has 6 altogether.
Since that opening game.
He had 4 the first game, and then 2 the next 11, 12 games.
Sure.
So it's tough.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So that's a game of a lifetime that he had there. I don't care who you are. Sidney Crosby and that 4 goals in a game. I mean,
yeah.
You just don't see that hardly ever. You don't see hat tricks no more, like the old days.
So. The old days. I remember those old days. Yes, the old days. Yeah.
But I'm going to go over some of the players that might be the interest in Mr. Hockey, I think. We got Casey Middlestad from Eden Prairie, but we got a UMD recruit, Matt Anderson, that's a defenseman down in Holy Family Catholic.
Okay.
And then Henry Ennebach, Lakeville North. He started playing there in his freshman year, and so he was on that state champion team. They would have had Ryan Paling, the twins, and he was younger, but then now they're all playing up in St. Cloud State. So he did 2 years of high school in 1 year,
okay,
and then
yeah.
moved. Didn't even go to juniors this year. He went straight to St. Cloud State. So, and he's playing really good, they said. And he might be in first round draft pick in the pros, too. Nicky Liverman, a defenseman for Eden Prairie. Noah Gates, another UMD recruit from Stillwater.
Noah Gates.
Cates,
What's his, what position does he play?
forward.
Okay.
He's the one that had that turnaround goal last year.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
they
sure.
showed it on ESPN a
Yeah.
million times.
All right,
Switched
we're getting him.
He got the stick and that, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden went in there and just made the 360.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we got him.
Good. I like
And
that.
we got another UMD recruit locally, Dylan Sandberg, the defenseman from Hermantown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he's been playing in the elite league. He was a stud
Really?
out there, so he's going to be a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one. And I think Ryan Sandlin will be a top 10 finalist.
Now he's gone off to
Minnesota State, Mankato.
Okay.
And then we got Ben Myers, another Class A player over in Delano. We got I like Jax Murray over in Elk River. And then we got John Stumpahar up in Grand Rapids, and Josh S. from Lakeville South. And there's a few others, there's a couple from Bemidji after that group that could move in,
We've got just a little bit of time. How about the Minnesota Gopher men's hockey team? Where are they at?
They moved up to 7. I think they moved up without playing.
So they had the week off.
Yes.
And then they resume. Do we have it right here?
Minnesota State, home and home.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Sure.
Minnesota State,
Okay.
home and home.
Oh yeah. All right.
Friday down at Mankato, and then
Saturday
up.
at Mariucci.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's a that's a good one because Minnesota State gives them all kinds.
Do they ever-
All the Minnesota teams give them problems.
They must have the Gophers must have a tournament coming up November 25th, 6th, and 7th at Northwestern and Boston College out east.
Really? Then they have a tournament, Mariucci tournament after that.
Oh, all right. Well, we've come to the end of the show, Minnesota Hockey Connection. You can find us online, minnesotahockeyconnection.com, and go to our Facebook page and like us there as well, Minnesota Hockey Connection. I want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, Public Access Television, downtown in City Hall, where this program is produced. And Jerry, for myself and you, Jerry Burrow, that's it. We'll be back here next week to drop the puck.
Yeah, and get out to some high school games this year. There's a lot of good teams in the area, and if you're down in the cities, a lot of teams on the west side.
All right, we'll be back next week. We'll see you then.